Hi everybody, it's Dr. Amy here, the Doctor of Traditional Chinese Medicine at the Natural Art of Skincare. Since I've been doing the Gua Sha facial at the spa, I've had a lot of requests from my patients and clients wanting to know how they could add this beautiful anti-aging technique into their daily skincare routine. So today I'm going to show an overall anti-aging treatment that can be done anywhere from once a week to every day. The more you do it, the more benefit you will get out of it, but even once a week is going to be beneficial to the skin. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing two different Gua Sha tools. Both of these are available at the Natural Art of Skincare. Really, the shape of your stone and what the material is it's made out of is all really personal preference. Gua Sha is always done using some sort of tool. And now the shape of tool you use is really up to you. I like to have different shapes for different areas of the face, but really you can do all of the techniques with any shape of Gua Sha tool made out of any material. Today I'm using the rose quartz, which is just naturally a very anti-aging stone. It's also extremely beautiful, as you can see. Traditionally, Gua Sha tools were made out of jade. Jade has a very special meaning in Chinese culture as well as Chinese medicine. But overall, you want to just choose any tool that's made out of good quality stone with a smooth surface. So Gua Sha is a healing traditional Chinese medicine technique that dates back to the Ming Dynasty, which was from about 1300 to 1600. So it's been around for a long time. Traditionally, the technique was not only used on the face to promote anti-aging, but really what it's about is increasing the blood flow and the qi flow. When blood and qi are flowing to all areas of the body is able to operate optimally and heal itself. And a lot of people ask me exactly, what does Gua Sha mean? Gua is actually the term used to describe the scraping, the gentle scraping technique we're going to use. So that's what Gua means. And then Sha actually refers to two things. Firstly, the Sha is going to refer to the stagnant blood that isn't moving properly in the body. And so, like I said earlier, we really want the blood to be moving, which is why we really like that pinkness we get in our skin after a facial. It's because the blood has flowed to the surface of the skin. And after a facial, you always look so glowing. It's because the circulation has been improved. Secondly, Sha is actually going to refer to the speckly bruise that can come from the scraping technique we do. Now, we don't scrape the skin on the face so strongly that we end up with this Sha or petechiae, that sort of red speckly bruise that can occur. But we do scrape the rest of the body when we're using Gua Sha to that level. And so when we scrape the skin to the degree of getting that sort of petechiae or that Sha bruise, that's actually where the toxins are going to be released through the skin. Heat and toxin will build up in the skin. This is typically where things like eczema, acne, any other skin issues that sort of appear red or sore, those types of things are typically indicating that there's a stagnation of the qi and blood and there's heat building up in the skin. So traditionally, we would actually use our tool to scrape that area and release the heat and the blood stagnation. If you've ever had a cupping treatment, cupping sort of is based on the same theory. We really are releasing stagnation or moving stagnation and releasing those toxins through the skin. So that's where those nice circle bruises that you end up with after cupping, that's what they're doing. And because we can release heat through the skin, Gua Sha is actually a really good treatment for cold, flus, fevers, anything where the heat's building up in the body. There's different areas in the body or on the body that you can actually scrape to really effectively release the heat from certain organs. And maybe if people are interested, that's a video I can do down the road with other ways to use your Gua Sha tool. And because we can release the exterior of the body with the Gua Sha tool, it's also really stimulating to the immune system. So the surface of our skin in Chinese medicine and in Western medicine obviously is our first protective barrier from the outside world. And if we can really stimulate the function of the skin, it's going to boost our immune system as well. And so now to get into our facial technique, there's a few ways you can use your Gua Sha tool, and overall, as long as you're being gentle on your face, you really don't have to worry about doing anything wrong. Gua Sha is very easy, relaxing, wonderful technique that I really want you to be able to enjoy. So please don't worry about doing anything really wrong. I'm going to give you a few really good pointers to make sure that you're doing it effectively. But overall, it's a pretty easy thing to do, and I think you're really going to enjoy adding it into your skincare routine. So there's a few things, again, like I said, that you can do with your Gua Sha tool. I'm going to show you today an anti-aging technique. And so with anti-aging, when we're looking at Chinese medicine and Western medicine, we want to bring the blood to the face. So typically we want to start from the neck and we want to work upwards. We want to lift the qi and lift the blood. In Chinese medicine, we believe that aging comes from sort of weak qi that isn't maybe getting to all the areas of the face. When the qi isn't able to reach the skin on the face, it can become sort of malnourished and dull looking. And also the muscles in the face need that adequate amount of qi to stay firm. So we're always going to be lifting that qi. You can definitely also use your Gua Sha tool to drain the lymph system. And in that case, you want to be starting from the middle of the face, working towards the ears and down the side of the neck. And if you're interested in another video on Gua Sha lymph drainage, we can definitely do that too. But as for today, we're going to focus on the anti-aging sort of lifting treatment that I like to do. So a few key things that I want you to know before we start. It's always really important to do Gua Sha on clean skin. We don't want to be doing Gua Sha over makeup. It's really important because we will be applying pressure and pressing the skin. We don't want to be pushing or smearing bacteria around. So make sure your skin is really, really clean, and also make sure you're cleaning your tools really well before you use them. Warm soapy water is sufficient. Dry it really good, and then they're good to go. So in order to do your Gua Sha, you always want to make sure you're working with an oil or some type of skincare product that's going to give you some slip. Typically a moisturizer could work, but if it does dry, then you might feel like halfway through it's sticking a little bit. So what I like to use, what I'm using right now is the Eminence Wildflower Ultra Light Oil. The reason that I like this oil, besides the fact that it smells so beautiful, is that it's really lightweight. I can use a couple of pumps on my skin and do my Gua Sha, and it's totally absorbed. There's no sort of greasy leftover residue on the skin. This is a really nice oil if you choose to do your Gua Sha in the morning before you're going out for the day. I always like to do my Gua Sha at the end of the day because the way that we're actually going to move the tool is a unidirectional sort of motion. So we're always going to be going one way. And this motion actually will completely calm the central nervous system. I find for me the best time to do my Gua Sha is at the end of the day when I'm laying in bed. I wash my face, I put my oils on, and then I lay in bed and I do Gua Sha. And I know I sleep quite a bit better on the nights that I do make the time to do a short routine. Okay, so we'll start with a few pumps of our oil. We're definitely going to be targeting the face and the neck today. So make sure you put some oil on your neck. If you have not tried this oil, I definitely suggest you do. It's absolutely beautiful. the leftover in my hair because it's super, super hydrating for hair, skin, and nails. Okay, so now that we're all oiled up, we can start our routine. I'm gonna start with my, my heart-shaped Gua Sha tool. We're gonna start on the neck, and so I like this tool because it does have a lot of surface area. For the most part, when we're doing Gua Sha on the face, we wanna hold our tool flat against the skin. There will be times where we lift it perpendicular and do some more heavier scraping, but overall, we're going to hold our tool flat to the skin. Because we're gonna start at the neck, this gives a nice surface area. But again, this tool or any shaped tool will absolutely work for all areas. And so I always like to start at the collarbone. I watch for the trachea here. I tend to go on either side of it. If your tool has a notch like this, you can definitely do some nice neck work over the trachea this way. If you're using something more like this, we just stay on either side and go really gently when we go over the trachea. And so I'm gonna start now just kind of at the collarbone. So I'm holding my tool flat. I always like to hold my starting point, the skin there. It's just to give sort of an anchor. You'll watch me doing that kind of all over the face, just to anchor the skin where you're starting. So I'm gonna hold at the collarbone here, and I'm gonna go really, really slowly and drag that tool all the way up. I like to do anywhere between 5 and 20 passes per area. And as we go along, you're definitely going to feel certain spots on your body where it feels really tight, maybe even tender. You can definitely spend a little more time in those areas. And I'll go through in my areas where I know I hold more tension. I'll show you some different techniques that you can use to work some of that tension out. So we're gonna make sure we hit all areas of the neck. You really want this to be an intentional practice. It's easy, and I mean, you will get benefits if you go quickly like this, but this is intentional skincare that we're doing here. So you want to be present, you want to feel it, you want to enjoy the whole process. It feels amazing as well, so it's not hard to enjoy. So here's an area for me that I definitely have some tension. I'm a swimmer. And so I notice when I'm doing back crawl and holding my head up, the SCM muscle here gets really, really tender for me. And so that feels very good. So you want to be careful. If you're feeling an area of tension, we know there's stagnation there. When a muscle is really, really tight, it's sort of starved for oxygen. Just picture, nothing can flow through a muscle when it's in total spasm. And so we're going to actually bring that blood and release that stagnation. And so for me, I'll show you maybe here. If I'm going to stop here and say, yeah, this is definitely an area I'm holding tension, I'm going to take my tool perpendicular and I'm just going to scrape a little bit here. And you'll notice if you add a little, if you use a little pressure, it doesn't take much to get that sha showing up, that petechiae, that red speckly skin. It doesn't last very long, and I definitely don't suggest doing this on your face. But this, you will feel the muscle is going to feel a lot better if you scrape this out a little bit just in a couple of days. You can see just from a few scrapes like that, I'm already turning pretty pink in that area. It feels very good though. You want to make sure you hit the back of the neck. This is a lot of my clients hold a lot of tension here. I do a lot of Gua Sha treatments for the neck for people. And we're lifting that chi. I'm going to go in front here. This side. Tense over here as well. I'm going to do a little bit of scraping. So I often tell my clients that Gua Sha is Chinese medicine's version of Botox. So you shouldn't expect to see Botox level results, and definitely not in the amount of time that Botox will deliver. But basically what Botox is doing is going into overactive tight muscles and forcefully relaxing them to the point of paralyzing them, in fact. And so Gua Sha wants to do the same thing, but it's a natural way to achieve those results, and there's no side effects along with it. So once you've completed the neck, all areas of the neck, 5 to 10 passes per area, we can move on to the face. I really like to start under the jaw. So we're not going to be on the face yet. We're going to be under here. You can really use your Gua Sha tool to sculpt any areas that you'd like maybe a little sharper. And the jawline is one of those examples. It's really nice to move any fluid that might be sort of stuck in this area. This is also a really good area for detoxing, like we talked about with the lymph system. So if you're suffering from acne, this is a great technique to help move those toxins out of the skin. And so I've moved on to my sort of S-shaped tool here because it's got a nice little curve here and it's a little bit smaller. It fits right under my jawline really nicely. But again, I have no problem using sort of this one little end of the heart, getting under there. Now I can use the sort of notch in my heart. When I start using my tool along my jawline, I don't actually necessarily clench my jaw, but I'm pretty tight in here. And so when I go along this area, I feel and hear tick, 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 tick. Those are actually small adhesions in our muscles, little knots in our facial muscles that we really want to be aware of and to be working on. When the facial muscles are relaxed, we're going to look fresher. Over time, when muscles get overactive or really tight, that's what changes the shape of our face. So if we're squinting all the time, we get lines in between the eyebrows. If we're clenching our jaw all the time, the jaw will actually become a little bit widened. So these are really good techniques to keep the face relaxed and keep us looking young. And so don't expect to get rid of all these knots on the first session. This is something that you want to do regularly, and these knots will go away over time. So I can show you with this tool now as well. I would probably use the bigger end here just to get a little bit more surface area. And I go right up under the ear. And for me, right in front of my ear here, that's pretty tight. So at that point, I might turn my tool perpendicular, do just very gentle scraping here. It feels great. Don't use too much pressure. Again, we don't want to end up with any bruising on the face. Just gentle. I'm going to go around the mouth now and lift the corners of the mouth. So I'm going to drag my tool from the center of the lip up. This can also really help prevent jowls. You want the skin to turn pink with this. You can see I'm turning a little bit pink here. That's that blood flow. That's going to be bringing in the new blood, flushing out the old blood, nourishing our skin, giving us that beautiful glow we want. I can show you with this tool here. So I would just lift. Now I'm going to sculpt under the cheekbone. I'm going to hold my tool flat and drag that up. I like to go right into the hairline. If you do, you'll feel, whoa, yeah, even the scalp is holding a lot of tension. Back to this tool. Go under the eye, sort of over the cheekbone for this area, for this step. Go right up into the temple. If you have any sinus issues, you can actually use your Gua Sha tool to open the sinuses up. So you want to hold it flat next to the nose, under the eye, and really pull that skin sort of, you can feel the sinuses opening. And if that's something that you're interested in learning a little bit more about, I would love to do a tutorial about sinus drainage as well. And so for under the eye area, Again, you can use this for lymph drainage. If you feel puffy under the eyes, this is a great way to move that fluid out, or even dark circles. This can help with that as well. Again, both tools will work, but it's easier with a smaller tool. You want to get right up under the eye and make sure there's slip here. You definitely never want to tug on the skin under the eye because it is so delicate there. Sliding that. Or if you're worried about the pulling, you can even sort of hold your tool flat and roll it down like this. So press, press, press. I like to go above the eye as well, or do the brow. I can feel some tension in my temple, so I'm just gonna scrape that out a bit. Forehead is super important. If you get these 11s or even just a 1 here, you can absolutely make a difference with your Gua Sha tool. I like to just start by pressing my tool completely flat against the skin in between the eyebrows. It feels amazing. And typically you'll be able to feel, if you have tension here, you'll be able to feel where that tension lies. So I do have a bit of a line here. And so when I press my tool here, I feel the tension from here all the way through this eyebrow, across and out. And so I know where I need to work. You can hold it flat and press it against the skin and shake the brows a little bit. This feels amazing. You can go directly up with the forehead. You can kind of go up and over. So now that I've run through kind of a few techniques, I'm going to speed this video up a little bit and show you my whole routine. Just so you can get an idea of what the whole thing looks like. Again, there's no wrong way to do this. Any little bit helps. You want your skin to look pink and glowy after your treatment, so use enough pressure to really feel that tension and start releasing it. Of course, not too much tension or not too much pressure that you're feeling any pain, but definitely get that blood flowing. We want that pinkness after we wash our face in the morning and the evening, because we really know we've nourished the skin that way. So that's a basic Gua Sha technique that you can be adding to your skincare routine on a hopefully nightly basis, but at least once or twice a week will make a big difference for your skin. Definitely stay tuned for more in-depth Gua Sha videos. I plan on doing another tutorial here right away on the lip flip, which is going to help really accentuate the top lip and kind of turn the corners of the mouth up. If there is any other videos that you're interested in seeing, definitely let us know, and I'd love to help out. Have a great day.